Hi guys, this is Jeremy and I'm going to be doing a sort of tutorial on how to do a 4x4x5. Now, this is kind of long overdue. I mean, I've been doing this for a couple years now. I just never got to doing a tutorial about it. I didn't have a camera for a while, but now I can do it, and I have no other videos to make right now, so this is going to be the one. And I said sort of tutorial because I'm going to be going over sort of the method of how I'm going to do it, but not too many algorithms for too many steps. A lot of it is just intuitive, can you follow along? And so I'll also be doing some example solves. I'll be planning to for my next video on this puzzle. So I hope you enjoy it, guys. Alright, so here is a scramble I made. Basically the method goes first center, either red, orange, blue, or green, and then I'll go to the opposite center, and then I'll make the last two centers, then I'll make all the edge pairs, then I'll solve the whole thing like a 3x3x5, more like a 3x3x4 with a middle layer. You'll see what I mean. And you might already know what I mean. So let's get started. So basically what I see first here, I prefer blue, if you might know, but actually I see a better orange case. I see these two oranges, I see these two, and if I do an R move, I can make these two, and then I'll have one more pair that I need to make with this one's going to end up here, and this will be here. So let's do that. I have these two, and I have this one here, and this one here. What I'm going to do is do an F2, U, and then bring those two together, and then put them here to make the center. And then we're going to go for the red center. So this is a little of an unfortunate case, but it's actually good for the tutorial because I like to go over the harder cases first. So what I would do here is I would push this pair next to this middle pair right here. I do a U2, and I'll also turn the cube here and do U2 here, and then bring it back down. So we maintain this center, and now we have two pairs in the opposite center. Now we have this pair we can make with the two reds are opposite each other, and it's not going to interfere with the centers we already created. So we put them together, and we're going to just place it in with the red center, and now we have an orange and a red. Alright, so for this is actually pretty simple. We're going to turn this here, and we're going to make so we have two pairs, and most of the time we're going to have one pair left. That's not complete, and you should be able to, just by fiddling around like this, you should be able to make two pairs, whether it's on the outside or one on the inside. I mean, one in the center and one at the outside. So here's the one on the outside. What you have to do for this, I'm sure this is the tricky part for most of you, is turn the red-orange, the first two centers we made, do an RI move. So RI is just the middle layer of the R layer. And then we're going to do UI, or sorry, 2 UI, so that we have our unfinished pair of our last two centers. Make sure that they're both on the top like this, and then do a 2 UI. And then we're going to turn the cube like this. We're going to do a B2, and then an Li2, and then bring it back. Oh, sorry. Then a B2. Then we're going to bring it back. And then you could just bring it back like this, but since we have this pair, we're going to keep it. That's for if you want faster solves. So yeah, I have two pairs here. So in order to retain them, I'd move them out of the way first, and then finish the center. And then I have a jump start. I actually have 3 centers I started with, but we should probably go over that again, since slightly confusing. So you have your pair here and your pair in the top. So if you had something like if you had it on the bottom here, you could just do this and be on the top, and you'd have this. Do this move. Turn this twice around so that this green is going to that green, and this blue is coming back to this blue. Then we're going to bring it back. What this effectively does... Oh, made a mistake. I forgot to do the... Shit. What this effectively does is, once you have this mirror... Once you have this here, when I flip around like this, we see that these are exactly the same when I turn it like this, which allows it, when I do this, to be exactly the same as it was. So that's all that is. I'm sorry, I fucked it up. Alright, so now that we have the centers, what we're going to do is, let me screw up all the pairs just to make sure that we start from scratch. So, I'm going to be looking for the first pair. We have 8 edge pairs to do, 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom. We're going to make our first one by just choose a layer like red orange or blue green, and don't do this with it, because then you'll get all confused. I mean, you could, but I wouldn't do it. So I'm gonna go for, I'll stay with blue green, and we can make this green white right here and bring it to the left or the right on the bottom side, so that when we do our inner move again, it will not be broken. So we've actually made another edge in the process, so we're going to bring that to the left. So now we have one on the right, we have one on the left. Now we're going to make our next one on the top. Make sure it's on the top, it'll just make it easier. So I have this blue-white, and I've also made this orange-yellow, coincidentally. And it's good that they're opposite. You want to be opposite, so you're going to bring them to the left, or you're going to bring them to the right, and you're going to bring this back down. And we've made, unfortunately we made them all. That'd be good in a speed solve, but I don't want to be doing that, so let's, I'm gonna screw them up a little bit. So, most likely you're gonna end up with 3 edges like this. So I have this green, yellow, blue, yellow edge, blue, yellow, red, white, and red, white, green, yellow. What I want to do here is make an edge. I can actually place this left edge on the bottom if I want. So we're going to have an edge here, an edge here, and an edge here. We're going to push this blue-yellow into this blue-yellow. If it was on the left, you just push the left into this right side, but this one's on the right, we're going to push them to the left. So we're going to do this RI move. So this is complete. And then we're going to do a U prime. This edge here, we're going to bring it back up with an L and then a U. And then we're going to do another RI. And if I were to do a U prime L U, you could actually solve the edges at the end of the solve and not disturb anything else in the cube. This might be how they do not blindfolds. Yeah, it might be how they do blindfolded solves for like 4x4 and 5x5. I'm not exactly sure because I just found this on my own. Let me know if they do, because that'd be interesting. So that would solve a 3-edge case. That's probably the simplest one you can get. No, actually that's the most complicated one you can get, which is really easy. So the easiest one is this, where you have 4. So you might get something where it's like, it looks like this, where you have a green, yellow, red, yellow, green, yellow, and then the same thing with different colors on the bottom. What you want to do is make them vertically opposite. So you have green, yellow, red, yellow here, red, yellow, green, yellow, and you'll have some other colors that are the same pattern on the back side. What you want to do is either do on the right side or the left side, doesn't matter. I prefer the right side. We're going to do an RI, U2, RI. It's very simple. You'll solve the last 4 edges. Now, once we're done the edges, we're going to solve, this is the 3x3x5 end part, like the 3x3 solved to the 5x5, but this is like a 3x3x5 ending to the 4x4x5. So we're going to be solving this middle layer here, this layer here. And you should have this red, green, orange, blue pattern already there. What we're going to solve is these edges around. So in this case, you have 3 here. This obviously is opposite its place, so we're going to bring it here first, and then bring it back to its place, and everything else, these 2 should be solved after that. I mean, there are other cases, like a little more complicated, but they're pretty simple. You can see that these 2 are both green right here, so they should go up here, and then you'll have these last 2 flip there. It's very simple. I really shouldn't have to explain it, so I'm just going to skip over it. So since this is mostly solved, I normally go for this, and this happens to be blue, red, green, orange, so that would mean the white side's on the bottom. And normally I go for that, but for the purposes of this tutorial, I'll flip it to the yellow side, and I'll do all 4 of these edges for you. So what I see first, I see this green-orange is opposite to where it used to be. I see this blue-orange pair right here that can just be inserted in here. But what I'm going to do, instead of just inserting it, oh, you know what? I can just insert it. So I'm going to insert it, move this over, and I know that there's going to be an orange-green here. This is not the correct orange-green because I see they're the same. I'm facing on both sides, but you know what I mean. I'm going to find, I see this green-orange, this is the correct green-orange, and I'm going to find a green on top of here so that when I bring it up here, I connect it to it and bring it back down. So I'm always going to be working on the right or the left, so that I'm only moving this like this. It's going to be correct, incorrect, correct, incorrect. Alright, so the next would be the green-red. This is not the correct green-red we're looking for, so this one must be it. So we're going to look for the red. And I see a red here. We're going to connect to it first, so it's paired up, and then bring it down. And now we only have 1 more. So we're going to find, oh, it's right here. So we can do this simple move, which is just the R, U prime, R. And I could have done that with all the edges. I can show you if I want to. Just scrambling it a little. So let's just say I had, alright, I have 1 edge already. Oh, excuse me, I screwed up the centers a bit. And this blue should be here. Alright, so let's say I had none of these corner pieces in here inserted already. Oh, that should be like that. Shit. Wait a second. So I have this, right? What I can do for the whole thing is I could find this orange-green piece is directly over its place. And I could go L, U prime, L. And that makes the pair here, U, L. And that'll make this opposite because we did 5 moves. Sorry, we did 3 moves, which will make this incorrect. But we're going to just turn this layer, bottom, and we see that this is incorrect. This is not the orange-blue that we want. So we'll bring, we can't find it because it's right here. So we're going to move to something else. We have the red-blue here. So we can do that same move. And do we have the next thing? Do we have the red-green? We have the red-green. I'm going to do that same thing. Then we're going to go back to the edge that we didn't, the corner that we didn't finish. Now it's directly above because we took it out. And we have a complete bottom layer. Now we're going to be solving this next layer here, this one. Alright? So this is just 3x3x4 PLLs. This is just like the 3-corner case, the 8 perm. I have 3x3x4 PLLs out on a video already. You should check it out if you haven't seen it. So we're going to do the same process with this bottom layer here, except we can go ahead and finish these centers. So we know that this is the yellows right in the bottom, and we can use this trick since we have these two here, and this is place over it. We can do this trick. And have the centers solved. We could solve the centers at any time because it doesn't disturb anything else. Just like you could have solved these edges pairs at any time if you had this 3 left. Any other way of doing it would screw it up, but if you had a not that you'd want to, but if you had hold on. If you had 3 left like this, you could do it that way at the end and it wouldn't disturb anything. So what I'm going to do is go for yellow, just because I have yellow on the bottom already. What I see first is I have this yellow-red. It's the only thing I have, and I have this I have this blue-red pair right here. What I can do is directly place that next to it so I have this block. Move that to the side. And so this is the side that I'm working on. And I see this green, green, red. I'm going to pair those two up. They're paired up. Move this block right here so that when I pair it, now I have that whole, I don't really know what to call it. Normally it's a 3x4 block. 3x4x1. So we have the last pair for the yellow. Now we have this connected here, this here. What we can do is just connect those, and then we have this opposite right now, so we can just bring it down. The middle is fine, the bottom is solved. Now we have just this last part, and you can see that we have parity here, right? Because this is not a 3x3 case, 3x3x4 case that we recognize. So what I'm going to do is, it's a 3x3x5 parity case. So here's the parity case, okay? So if you have, basically what this parity will do, if you hold it like this, is it will swap these two with these two. And that looks like we want to do, right? Because then we'll get just the corner pairs. The corner cycle. So how it goes is just follow along. We'll have 2 U2, R2, F2, U2, F2, R2, 2U2, F2. And you see that these have been swapped. And then we'll simply do PLL. and the cube is solved. So guys, that was my tutorial on the 4x4x5. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you don't have questions, so I hope I covered everything, but I bet I didn't. So if you have questions, please ask. I'm going to put, like I said, some example solves. For my next video, I'm going to put some example solves of this puzzle so that maybe some of your questions could be answered in that video. I'm not sure. But if you enjoyed it, please click that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks for watching, and goodbye.